for all eternity. That doesn't make any sense to me. And the whole idea of heaven and hell for eternity doesn't make any sense to me either. I don't think anything's eternal. If you compare the afterlife to the life we have here, that's the best way to do it. If you ever want to imagine something, just imagine how it is here, and then bring those laws up to the as above, so below type of thing. If you believe, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to believe in eternity, being in hell for eternity or heaven for eternity, because, I mean, well, it'll get boring for one. What's the whole purpose of living on Earth once for a short amount of time if you're going to be everywhere else for eternity? Wouldn't you be other places for a little short amount of time and then move on for a short amount of time if you're going to be here for a short amount of time? Like plants, they live and then they die, and then they live and then they die. Cars drive around the road and then they die and they're thrown into that heap, and then they're reborn again. You know, like the Dodge Charger was reborn again, the Mustang was reborn again. So, with that being said, you know, I believe in the body as like a machine. I think the body is just a piece of meat. Body is an inanimate object. It's just like a car. You drive a car around, your car breaks, get a new car. Same thing with the body. So I mean, the problem with these people who believe in only living the earth once and then you go off and you live the heaven for eternity is I've never been able to get anybody to explain what heaven is. You know, I mean, I just spent like a bunch of minutes explaining what I believe about reincarnation, you know, with details and reasonings and all this stuff. So I would like to hear somebody give an actual explanation of what heaven's like, you know, like it's this big sphere that you walk around like a planet and there's rivers just like here, you know, and so then I go like, well, my answer to that would be like, well, why can't it just be a planet? You know, oh no, it can't be a planet, it has to be in another dimension. Okay, well, how about a planet in another dimension? You know, so you can, you know what I mean? You can expand on the conversation. You can try to imagine something. It seems like a lot, you know, like when Jesse Ventura said that Christianity was for stupid people, it's kind of seems to be this. So, fundamentalist Christianity is for people who do not want to imagine anything. They just want to believe something and then wash their hands and then not imagine anything else beyond that. It's kind of like the easy way out type of a thing, and that doesn't work. You can't just believe something and say everybody else is wrong and then refuse to actually philosophize. I actually had fundamentalist Christians tell me that they don't philosophize. Christians, they don't philosophize. Well, if you're living in a world where you have to compete for your religion and make your religion more powerful than the other guy's religion, you're going to have to, you know, you're going to be going up against some pretty good religions that have some pretty, you know, descriptive ways about describing what the world is and everything, and you're going to have to keep up with them. You can't just stay primitive and, you know, refuse to. It's like a politician refusing to go to the debate and then expecting that they get to be the next president just because their party has been in power since the beginning of the country. You know, get used to having to argue for what you believe. But I guarantee that if you do argue for that, you're not going to make any sense. And so I think people back in like 1980, 30% of people believed in reincarnation. Now it's like 70%. All, you know, most young people believe in reincarnation. Older people don't really as much. So my prediction is within 10, 20 years, everybody's going to believe in reincarnation. And most of the people in the world already do. I've talked to Indians and, you know, primitive people, third world countries, and they all believe in reincarnation. The ancient Greeks believed in reincarnation. Most of the religions in the East believe in reincarnation. And I have even a reason why we don't believe in reincarnation. I think we all believe in reincarnation, even the Jews, back in the time of Jesus did. Remember when they said, are you Elijah? And he goes, no, I wasn't Elijah, but John the Baptist was Elijah. I think they were saying, you know, are you reincarnation of Elijah? Now, I think what happened was back in, you know, 325, whenever the Council of Nicaea was, when the Roman Empire had grown as its maximum point, could not grow anymore because they'd taken all the booty from all the other people and they just couldn't And they were starting to shrink and having problems because their enemies were getting as developed as them militarily, and they weren't afraid to die because they all believed in reincarnation. They thought if they died, they would just get reborn again in their same tribe, and they could fight on and on. They had to figure out a way to make people afraid to die, so they said, okay, well, if you die and you don't express your allegiance to Jesus, and before it was, if you don't express your allegiance to the emperor, we'll kill you. So now it's, if you don't profess your allegiance to Jesus, then you go to this place called hell for eternity. I don't think they invented it. I think other civilizations and empires have used it before that, so they just perfected it. So you better be a Roman, be a Christian, and then you get to, when you die, you get to go to heaven. And that's how they built St. Peter's Basilica. They made people pay the Pope to be able to go to heaven. So now people are terrified to die, and because they might go to hell forever. And now people are just generally terrified to die because of that whole psyche we've ingrained in ourselves, because we are terrified to die, or else we go to hell. So it's bad that people are terrified to die. People should not be afraid to die, because if you die, you're just born again. And it makes life boring if everybody's afraid to die. People should be out there having fun, and shouldn't be afraid of death, because that's really the only thing you have a reason to be afraid of. Nowadays people can't kill you, or people don't. It's not common enough, so now people can say whatever they want. And because people say whatever they want, we'll eventually find the reason. So I believe in reincarnation. Some other people may have some other ideas, like maybe you die and then you go off to, I don't know, some kind of, you fly around in space or whatever. I'd like to hear somebody's idea about that, so I can ask you questions. But at this point, believing in all the mansions, the worlds out there that Jesus talked about are all, planets with people just like you and me, dying and getting reborn again, getting their souls up there so that they can live in a peaceful world, so that they can go fly to other worlds and help those worlds become peaceful, just like peer helping peers, like student teachers. That's how it's on this world, so why can't it be like that in the nether world? So that's what I believe about reincarnation. You should believe in reincarnation too.